Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be diving into fear and true fear. I'm noticing a lot of my videos, and when I'm streaming and stuff, I'm getting comments and questions about what exactly is fear and true fear, what's the difference, what do they do, how good is it, what champions do it, all that sort of stuff, since it's kind of a newer mechanic slash debuff being slowly introduced to the game with more and more champions doing it, especially during the Halloween season, which kind of makes sense that they would kind of introduce some champions that have fear. I wanted to get a dedicated video out there where I really show a slow motion in-game example of exactly what fear and true fear do, go over the mechanics and talk about how good it is and what champions kind of do it. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so yeah, like I said in the intro, it's kind of a cool move by Plarium to kind of introduce fear mainly to the game during the Halloween season. That was kind of a cool move aesthetically. And during the fusion that we've had going on, we had Harvest Jack, a legendary that places both fear and true fear, and then we also had the epic Madame Ceris that has some fear elements to her. So really quickly, I will show you. Harvest Jack was this one here. His A1 has a chance to place the base fear, and then this ability here places true fear. There are two different ones, and then if we pull up Madame Ceris and the Dark Elf, we can see that she has this ability that places true fear, and she also has an A1 that places fear. Now, let me pull this up here. Okay, so fear is going to be kind of like the little scared face. And then true fear is going to be the face that's like fleeing. So that's how you can kind of remember in your head which one is which. Fear is just like, a little bit scared. True fear is like fleeing for your life. The face is trying to run away. So that's how you can kind of differentiate which one is which on kind of like the debuff when you see the debuff above somebody's head. So let's go ahead and show you in game exactly what is happening. Let me get this to be the proper size here. All right, there we go. Okay, so as we can see, this is a clip that I did earlier when I was trying to get a good example of what exactly fear and true fear do. Now, fear is the more basic version of the debuff. Most buffs and debuffs have a basic version and an advanced version. Like Continuous Heal has a base version of 7.5% continuous heal. Then it has an advanced version of 15% continuous heal. So a lot of buffs and debuffs work like that. They have a base version and an advanced version. So fear and true fear, they're both going to do the exact same thing, but true fear kind of has an ascended bonus effect. So fear is going to place a debuff on a champion, and when it tries to use a skill, there is a 50% chance that instead of using that skill, they will do nothing, as if they are scared to act, I guess is a way you could remember it. So they try to use a skill, but they get scared and they do nothing. So fear is going to just kind of end it there. They waste their turn. It's essentially a 50% chance to waste a turn. True fear, when they go to use that skill, not only are they going to waste that turn just like the base effect, but their skill that they attempted to use is going to go on cooldown. So their next turn, they can't use it either. They have to wait for it to be the 3, 4, 5 turns, whatever, until it comes back into the rotation again. So true fear is just devastating. It not only do you waste your turn and stand there and do nothing, but the skill that you tried to use is now on cooldown. You got to wait for it to come back around. So true fear, one of the best, if not the best debuffs in the game in terms of versus normal like champions, like non-bosses. And fear, very potent as well, because it's basically just wasting a turn. So that is a really deep explanation of what they exactly do. And I've got this example here of an in-game true fear happening and showing the devastating effects of it. So we can see right here that my Harvest Jack is casting his ability, Lord of Terror. Remember, Lord of Terror, like I showed earlier, it's going to place a true fear. Now, it works just like every other debuff in terms of when you place it, now you roll that champion's accuracy versus the enemy champion's resistance to decide if it gets placed or not. So if you have a champion that places fear or true fear, you're going to want really good accuracy so that you're landing these very potent debuffs. Now, my Harvest Jack has very good accuracy, like 300 something, so he's going to land these. And we can see here, he's starting to cast his ability, and what's going to happen is we can see these 3 enemy champions in the middle. Their turn meters are full. That means they are next in the rotation of the game to use their turn. We can see my Bad Alcazar, his turn meter is almost empty, and then this one's almost empty, this one's almost empty, and then obviously if my Harvest Jack just went, he's going to be empty. So these 3 champions in the middle are all going to get their turn directly after my Harvest Jack, but watch what happens. Boom. The little like purple spirit leaving the body, that is the fear being successfully placed. And then we can see the face that's like running away. That is our true fear debuff being applied to the enemy. Now, see how this champion right here, they are going to attempt to go. Their turn meter is full. Boom. They do nothing, and this little purple face is leaving their body instead. So that shows that the fear kind of procced. Remember, it's a 50% chance. There is a chance that the true fear does nothing, and she just uses her skill like normal and nothing happens. But there's a 50-50 RNG that this purple face flies out and she just wastes her turn, and that's what happens. So next, the champion in the middle here is going to attempt to take their turn, and we'll see what happens. Boom. They kind of see the purple face kind of leaving here like above the shoulder. Their turn meter just emptied and they did nothing. And then see, this one was next in the rotation. We see the purple faces leaving the body and the turn meter empties. So all 3 of these champions not only wasted a turn, but the skill that they were going to use is now on cooldown. And that is why fear and true fear are so devastating in dungeons and in faction wars versus normal mobs. Now remember, it will not work on bosses. So like if you're trying to fear the clan boss or something, it's not going to work. It's going to work against normal champions in waves of dungeons. And it's why it's such a strong mechanic in faction wars, is because in faction wars, remember, we're facing a boss a lot less often. Most stages of, or most levels of faction wars are just 3 stages of nothing but normal trash mobs, we call them, just basic champions. And they are going to be eligible to receive a fear debuff. So that's why it's so strong in faction wars. I'll show you this again, just so you can really see it kind of apply here. All right, so here we go. Lord of Terror, boom, we place the true fear. We see the purple smoke kind of going up. That is the placement of the true fear. And now we see a turn meter literally just do nothing. And there's the faces that leave, showing that it was a successful 50-50 proc of nothing happening. Then we go on to this one. Remember, turn meter is full. They do nothing. The turn meter empties, and we see the purple faces fleeing the body. Next is going to be right here. Full turn meter. Boom, it empties, and purple faces are leaving the body. So all 3 of those were successful true fear, preventing them from doing anything. I'll show it to you live. Lord of Terror, boom, places it. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And that is exceedingly amazing when you're talking about dungeon farming and kind of CCing. CC refers to crowd control. So in terms of really controlling the battlefield and giving your champions an opportunity to really catch up and have more turns and use their cooldown abilities more often than the enemy team, fear and true fear are going to be some of the best mechanics in the game in terms of dungeons and faction wars. So yeah, that kind of covers it for what I wanted to go over in this video, because I know a lot of people out there are going to be acquiring Harvest Jack and Madame Ceres, and I believe also the new champion, which one was it? This Brachus Shifter also has some fear mechanic we can see here. So very cool by Plarium that during the Halloween event we start getting a bunch of fear and true fear champions. So hopefully now you will have a better grasp of what exactly those debuffs mean and exactly how they function. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions down in the comments, and I will do my best to help you out. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.